Hey guys, today we're going to talk about Lincoln and the Civil War. So the first thing that you want to do is write your name on your paper as usual. Okay, and then we're going to title these notes Lincoln and the Civil War. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Lincoln and the Civil War. Okay, so the first thing that we want to look at is the election of 1860. This was a presidential election, and we have a Republican candidate. Lincoln is the Republican candidate. Okay, and then he runs on the slogan. Most people that are running for office have a slogan. His is Preserve the Union. Okay, and then he intentionally does not take a public stand on slavery because he knew that would get rid of some of the voters that were going to vote for him. So he didn't take a side as far as the slavery issue goes. So he doesn't take a stand on slavery. The next thing is that he wins by a landslide, which means a lot. He won by a landslide, and as a result, the South starts to kind of freak out, okay? But we don't really call that freaking out. We call it seceding. They start trying to leave the United States because they don't like the new president. So, South begins to secede. That means separate from the United States. Okay, and then we're going to go up here to this corner of your paper, this left corner. We have some causes for the Civil War. First, there's a high tariff on cotton. Cotton is only grown in the South, so it's only affecting the southern states, and they feel like that's unfair. There's also an issue of states' rights here. Can states withdraw from the Union because they don't like what's going on in the government? That was a big question at the time. And then also just the issue of slavery. The North felt like it was wrong, and the South felt like it was necessary. So they're going to fight over that. All of these things lead to the Civil War, which starts in 1861 and ends in 1865. Okay, here's some things that we need to know specifically about Texas. Okay, so, and I'm just going to draw over this Texas just so that you know that we're talking about this state. Okay, so the Texas Congressional Session wants to break away from the United States, and Sam Houston is very much against the idea of Texas being a part of the Civil War. He doesn't want any part of it. He doesn't want to be part of the South, and he would rather just stay out of it completely. He is against the Confederate States, and so he's removed from office. He refuses to take an oath. He's not sworn in. It's kind of one of those things where someone's like, "You're fired," and then he's like, "You can't fire me because I quit." He refuses to take his oath of office, and then he totally leaves Austin. He doesn't want to be any part of the Civil War. So Texas is actually not the first state to secede. The first state to secede, meaning leave the United States, was South Carolina. And they're the first, and that happens in December of 1860. So that's like almost immediately after they get the election results. South Carolina's like, I'm out, dude. I don't want Lincoln. I want my slavery, and it's going to stay that way. So then Texas is later. Later they secede. They secede from the United States in February of 1861. And then Tennessee is the last one, the last state to secede. And that happens in June of 1861. And then the war starts because the North feels like the South can't just leave the United States because they don't like policies. And also the North feels like slavery is wrong. So there's your Lincoln and the Civil War notes. Thanks for listening.